Hello folks, welcome back to my YouTube. Let's see what's happening in the markets. Today is April 2nd. We just had the quarter end 2 days ago. We had a fantastic rally of the lows from 4100 all the way to 4631, almost negating the fall completely and ending in the flattish zone from where we started in January. So this is where we fell from January, start of the year, and this is where we ended. So it's net, sum zero game, kind of where we ended. So now what? Actually, I've been referencing this picture or rather this chart, and this is the one I've been posting as well in my ES thread. I had divided price into 3 layers, right? And depending on which box they are in, we know where the action is happening. Now, the price had spent a lot of time in this orange box from last year. Technically from July to all the way now, still in this box roaming around. Brief period, it went below, brief period, it went above, but this is where the maximum action has been happening. Now, either price convincingly sits above this orange box or convincingly sits below the orange box. So this is the only 2 direction we can go from here. I don't know how long this chopping will be, but assuming the misery may end soon, it needs to pick a direction, albeit for a short time maybe, but either it should pick a direction this side or it should pick a direction this side. So this is the big picture to keep in mind where we are in reference to this orange box. Now, when the price was 4101, I was expecting that 4065 would be where it's looking to go. It didn't go there. It left some 60 points, and it stopped at 4101, which is actually from this high to this high. This is the February 2020 high to the current high. This one is 50%. So price came to 50% and it stopped there. And overnight it came and tested this 4129. And I had tweeted about it. It was a few days before FOMC, and everything across the board was oversold, and this blue line was holding for some time. And the FANGs and the growth stocks and the indices, everyone was oversold, and the VIX was not making a new high as this was making a new low, or rather coming down. So that indicated that a rally is soon, and with FOMC coming in close by with things the way they were placed, I expected that the rally to happen soon, because that 4326.75 was the one which was tagged Globex, if I'm not wrong. So I was looking for that number to be tagged around FOMC with Powell speaking, and we got that. We got this number here, somewhere here, it was there and it got tagged. And from there I was looking, where it would want to go. Would it be, it would want to go a little bit up more or a little bit zigzag. But this is a beast. Once it fires, no stopping in between. There are no stations, nothing, until it goes where it likes. So it went from so I had drawn 3 solid lines. This was a solid line of 4375 area below which price is weak, and this is our cycle 4489, this zone here. And above this, I generally consider price to be more bullish than bearish, and below this it is more of neutral to bearish, and below this is more bearish. So this is how I have it in my head, and this is how I use the numbers. And this was a black line where we had fallen through, and this was also around the gap area. It is also, entering into that 46 88 zone coming into this area, but this is where we had fallen down from, and this was also the kind of support and fell through. So this was where I had drawn this black solid line. I had posted that, look out for some pause here, if not pull back, because look, from 4100 we went directly to 4631. That's a 500 plus a rally. And officially from this zone, from entering from here, once we left the orange box, all this area now becomes a supply. Now whether it would like it here or here, it is just a matter of time. But some pullback was definitely in picture, just because we had non-stop movement. That non-stop word is more important than a pause in the movement, because the small times frames do need to get normalized. The daily may have more capacity, the weekly may have more capacity, but your smaller time frames don't have the capacity to just keep rushing in or rushing out without normalizing themselves. So this was a thing I had posted, and this is where it stopped, and then it pulled back. There was a so if we look here in XPX, there was a gap here, 45.75, 55, and this 15 minutes, it kind of gave a toppish toppish indication, and price came here, came here, got supported, got up, and the second time it broke down, tested back. So this was your confirmation that you could take a short here safely, and then your stops would be somewhere here, and then you try to come down from there. And this was the line going upward, and this was your another short area if you wanted to enter again, or this was more of a confirmation, and this was more of a speculation based on this. This was your gap fill, and the assumption was that, but they took a long time to fill this gap. They would come, leave a few points, go back up, leave a few points, and finally it fell, and then see, it came, it stopped here, it went back. Second time it broke down with a vengeance. A strong breakdown, because all this demand got flushed from here to here. There was nothing for price to stop, so it just flushed through all the way to this line, and some cluster is still existing here. So but price always finds some support on the upper side first as a reaction, and then first as a reaction, and later on it decides if it wants to actually break that area and come down. Now it's again back to trying this, trying that. It's wants to go back. So we had the gap fill at 45.75, and I was looking for it to come down to 45.57, 31. This has been an important area right from the start. This area has been really important for it, and that's where price has been. This is a demarcation, right? See, so price is either above this line or below this line. So that's why this area has been pretty important in the past as well, to either be on that side or either be on that side. So 45, 31, 57 area, and 44.89 is our level. So 44.89 to 45.57, that area has been fight to be on the bullish side or on the bearish side, to put it on a very simple terms, basically. And then you have, going from here, you have this area. This is all supply. So it will take a lot of energy to, cross this area, because there's a lot of supply built in here, where earlier price has been falling at almost every level there. 46, 46.25, 46.50 area, 70, and then 46.88 area was the 46.88.93 is the price levels. And this area, from there, I was like, okay, once it tries to sit over this, we can start assuming that it may try to capture the supply. So again, we have an uphill battle here to go and see whether, you know, this area of supply is absorbed and it likes it here, and it has the intention of going and making a new high. So the reason I'm stressing is this, of the nature of price and the time which has been spent here. So be cognizant of the moves which are happening. It will be a little bit confusing or challenging on, you know, how price, because this area has, again, as I mentioned, that since last July to here, price has almost done nothing, and it's a fight zone. It's a fight zone to be a bull or a bear. So that's why it will take you know, a leap of faith to go long super bullish and assume you know, a new high will be made once price is sitting here, or once price is sitting there. Then, you know, we know that the tendency may revert to being a bear and looking for, you know, first to tackle this high low 4101, which has made Globex, not RTH. So this needs tagging, and after this, you know, we may assume some new lows are coming from 3900 to 3700, and then to the March 2020 high, which is 3397. So, you know, all the way to 3400, the area is open to go. And here, once it captures this area, then you know that 4900 to 5000, and then 5000 to 5185 is the cycle cycle number I had, which it will complete a half cycle. So that area is there. So this is a bigger picture, and you know now what to look for in terms of you know, this demarcation which I have created. It helps me to know where the price is and what it's doing, and you know, I can kind of go along with it. It's very important to go along with the price versus saying price will go here or go there or not. ES has a very specific tendency, and it, if you can observe it closely, it'll tell you what it wants to do or what its intention is to do. The whole idea for us to be is to be in the trade and not get whacked out. So from that mindset, I try to follow the price versus getting ahead of the price. That's still an uphill battle, but hey, we try, right? So NQ also, I think I had a nice picture here, the chart which I had posted. Yeah, this is a little bit more cleaner than the other one because that has more detailed marks. So this was the low we had, you know, from the Jan 2021 area, and there it, you know, it found a support around 13,000 or late 1200s. So so from here, like 12,500 to 12,000 area was the demand zone. We can see that more better in the weekly or monthly. But it took, as I said earlier, mentioned also that generally price gives a reaction on the upper demand area, then decides whether it wants to go inside. More than likely, you will always get a knee-jerk reaction at the upper demand area, at the upper supply area first, and then, you know, in the second attempt or third attempt, it will try to pierce that if the action is bullish or if the action is bearish. So it went there, and just like ES, from where it broke down, it stopped there on Thursday, if I'm not wrong, or Wednesday. This was right just before the first day of last but one day of the quarter, and now it came down. So this number I had marked as 15,129 to 260 or so. The NQ thread has this, and it actually hit that number and then paused there, pull back. QQQ was holding the 361 area zone, and correspondingly this is 14,700 if I'm not wrong. So it also found support here. Now the whole question is, you know, again, just like ES, what it will do. So basically, not sure if I mentioned on the ES side is, one is, this is satisfied with this shallow pullback from here, and then it'll try to go above this and test some of the supply here or here, like that, right? Some more, or it will go back here almost until to this high it made, kind of a bearish ABC, and come down and pierce this lower. So this, or it could just keep directly coming down and, you know, hit this lower red line. So it can do one of these two things, you know, from here, go back up, come down here, and then try to go up, or go back up here or somewhere here, and then try to come back down here. So maybe some consolidation can happen before it decides its actual move, which can be, as I mentioned, either towards the upside or either towards the downside. Which side of the box we are trading would at least short term decide where the bias would be. So right now it's only about bias, where the bias would be, versus picking up a longer time frame trend. So that's that one. RTY, same, came down here to this weekly supply, went back, tested this upper red line, tried to poke over the red line. As usual, it, you know, this is always a trap. At least the first cut is always a trap, or mostly all it's a trap, because again, you know, from where you're coming and with what intensity you're coming, the important resistance or support, you know, can be a false breakout or breakdown. So that's how I try to look at it, versus it's a breakout, simply a breakout. Okay, so that sometimes keeps you on the right side. You know, again, come down, test some more down, or, you know, go up. So this, actually we should see IWM, because in terms of numbers that makes more sense. So IWM has been holding this 203, 205 area. Now, if it holds this, then we can assume that this 209 has been acting a little bit of issue with 211 being the level. So it went there, it hit it, and then, you know, came back testing that 203 one more time. Now again, it tests, it needs to go over this high, 212. 211 is the level, but if it can settle nicely around above it, then we can, you know, think about going higher and testing each supply one more time, 15, 19. It's quite a bit of close cut on IWM, but being over this line convincingly can, you know, be nice for it to keep inching higher. I do see IWM 250 target as the higher, for which only 245 was hit earlier, or 243 was it? 240, almost 245 was hit. So it still has this retest to do, and this, it can still hit 250, provided, you know, everything we talked about, that all works. IWM, my lines are always crooked, I don't know why, but okay. So IWM is also, you know, on a bigger level, it looked very clean. It came down, so got supported in this area, now going back. Again, above green line, below green line would matter for it in the short term. This zone could be a chop zone. As you see, this is from March last to March this year. 1 year of chopping is going on. So will it result in consolidation? Is this consolidation, or is this distribution? We will know once price breaks out convincingly with good volume above this or below this. So that's there. VIX, again, you know, it didn't take out this area. So it didn't even take out this lower area after, you know, after making the first high. So it's there, and now it's almost coming into support. And then the idea is, can this go over, or it'll come down all the way till 17, 16, or 15 basically. From below 17, there is no volatility, and the indices are mostly bullish biased, and we can expect price to keep inching higher. And as VIX goes below 15, we can see some melt up kinds, and price can be really, really bullish. But as it's coming down 15 to 12, I would personally accumulate VIX for very further out in time, because those areas, these areas have always been a bigger support, or there is nothing below this. So these areas have generally result into bigger spikes. Comes down to this area and you get big spikes in the next few months. So this would be a nice area to accumulate. So Apple also, got supported here, and it's going here again, a little bit falsy. Went up here, came back down, getting supported around 173, 175 level. Again, try it one more time, this line, test it back again, come down more. Or this is it, and that 180, it'll hit that. I'm just looking for that 183 and 1 cent, okay, for now, to hit, not that it's a done deal, or I mean, for in terms of bearish action, to start off a bearish action or anything, but hitting that 183.01, I'm just looking for the price to reset to a higher cycle. So that's my only motivation. And after that, price can still continue to go higher, maybe some percentage, 10%, 25, 10%, 20% higher towards 200. It can still do that. But once it takes out that number, 183 and 1 cent, we know Apple in future will go to 360. So that's that. And staying over 183 then becomes all the more important for it to continue that journey towards 360. Now, let's say it hits one. So generally, this is what happened with the growth stocks as well last year. So they all hit their cycle number, and then the offset also, which will reset them to the higher cycle. But the funny thing they did was, instead of hitting the offset and a little bit more, they hit a lot more. And that's what I think confused everyone, that price is never going to come down, or growth stocks is to the moon, or maybe something beyond the moon. And that's where I had started posting, this has completed the cycle, maybe, look for some protection in terms of protecting the gains versus being more bullish. But, we are human beings. So, and that's where you saw everything, whatever it was there, it reversed back from there. So that's the tendency generally it does. So once it's coming in that vibration zone, it may fire up a little bit, but you have to give a little bit time for it to settle and understand, is it really going to continue to much higher price from here? Or, this would be like a kind of a false breakout. First, it will come down and settle its business downside, and with a new time line, it'll go to the newer highs, which has marked it already. So that's how I look at cycles. So this is Apple, Tesla, we had said, prices come down of this, but still this 700, 750 was the breakout from earlier in this region. And it's there, it captured its 901 cycle back and went all over to 1125. 1125 was the level. I think it hit midpoint, 1115 or 1114. And there it's still hovering. There's a gap here, 10,040 or 40, something like that. The gap is there. So will it come down to fill it now, or go back up and then come down? So this open gap leaves a possibility for price to come down, but it can go up first towards 1200. I believe there's a Tesla numbers coming in, then there is an earnings season coming in. So all that will matter in terms of, again, this will be your demarcation for now, at least. Price goes this way, price is staying on this side of this line or on this side of this line. That could be. And this was the one, this was the chart which I've been referencing in my Tesla thread for quite some time. I had marked up the upper cycles, upper targets and some lower targets as well. That assuming if this is a bearish ABC, high, low, high, which this high may not take out this high, then you have this lower numbers here up till 500 to under 400. Or if it breaks out, then you have your, between 1250, 1257 or something to going to 1500. The actual target for Tesla is 2917. Once it has offset the cycle from 901, it took out 931. So it printed 22,917 as the future price target. So see, 90 it did. So this is a prime example. 901, 931. It could have gone to 1,000 or so and then come down, but no, it went all the way till 1200, did much more excess than the actual 901 or 931. And then everyone was like, oh, it's going to 1500, oh, it's going to 2000. Yes, it's going, but not now, right? Why? Because it just reset its cycle and here, and it's been going, it's been a little bit overbought in terms of price action and the cycle, how much it has run. So this is your deciding point, or no, not deciding, it's first is your waiting point to see whether is this real or so this is what this is mostly all your stocks have done, mostly growth stocks have done this kind of action. Did that excess pullback, formed an ABC and then crap. Tesla did so much okay, then the actual growth stocks, which they have reset the whole move back to their breakout from March 2020 low, or rather February 2020 high. We should say 2020 high. They've mostly all of them have come down. So this is it. So this is what we need to see, whether this is a bearish movement, at least temporarily, or it wants to move high. Up until here, price would still be in the retest of the high, going up above how much it wants to do and all that. So just play by the ear. Again, Amazon. This guy, this 3365 has been a blocking area. In fact, 3125 to 3450. This is the range the stock has been having, and it is just traveling between these two levels. Now, again, 3125 to 3250, and then 3250 to 3365, 3365 to 3249. That's the area it has been doing. Now also it did almost close to 3450, and this purple line, it couldn't take out. So for now, again, above this green line, below this green line, so it came back and it's resting here, 3250, right? So price generally have been, for most of the things, a clear demarcation of above this, below this. The way price has been moving, it's in a proper boxed area. So if you can go and look at it, then whether the price is inside the box, outside that box, or below that box. So if you do that, then it becomes a little bit more easier to see the movement versus trying to see what the stock is doing, right? One more I was trying to see is MDB. I think I had posted. It was trying to go over, but this was like, hitting this supply. You see, from here till here is a supply with this is being in between, right? So, excuse me, sorry. So this is also, again, pretty clear. It tried to break out of here. I first played long, and then I completely forgot about this. This move was a super nice move, and it kind of kept slipping off my radar, and I really regret not playing this one. Broke out and hit that 463 area, and now it's thinking. right? So it can come down here, test this and try to launch back in here, or maybe consolidate just under this line, pull back here. So again, where is it in terms of these three lines? You will know. This stock moves well, so it gives good R&R if you day trade as well, but the options are not good. Very horrible bid and ask. So even though stock is moving nicely, they don't move the options as nicely. So that's why I don't like to play the options on this one. GME. I think GME I had posted earlier in my thread, and then Friday I said, such a stupid person I was. I posted just before this big shootout happened, looking for it, and then for some reason, you know, things always fall off my radar because I generally don't trade GME and all. And but it was a very good move, you know, out of this. Out of this range. See, it's when you look at it, it's such a clear demarcation, right? This is the low and price fell out of this, and this, once it's trying to go above this, it was your long, right? And then I think something happened, and then it just moved towards 200, but again it did stall towards this line. It didn't take out that 189 area. It briefly hit 199ish, almost to 200, but it didn't do. And there's a 200 day in my opinion here around 165, so it's exactly closed around there. Again, it will be a matter of staying above it or not. Once it loses that, it'll come back to this green line in no time, in my opinion. But we will see if somebody trades it. This UPST also I have been eyeing, you know, to play to the long side, but it's kind of, you know, ranging tightly here, not giving too much movement in order to, you know, go, but this is holding it along this line. So let's see if there is any indication. So yeah, so this, yeah, so it's tightly, you know, in this area. So daily is also too much noise on this one, so probably, you know, if it tries to one more time tries to go over here, so you get to play from this 120 to 160 area. These will be start reporting earnings. So I'm not sure if this date is right because TradingView doesn't have the date right as much. So this would be a good play. The other one I was eyeing was net. Net was, we played this one round from 119 or 118 to 132, and then you know, it hit this supply and it came down, and now it's holding this. Now it holds this, it will try one more time, at least some, you can day trade it for 10 points, or rather small swing for a 10 point, and then, you know, see if it can go towards 150. So this is a good another one which I was liking was Facebook. Facebook is because you know, this, the only reason I was liking it is because the kind of damage it has done, and it was resting here a little bit above this orange line, and this, so it tries to take this 2 to 5 area, then you have going towards 250, and you know, it enters this where is the box? So it enters this box. Okay, so once it enters this box, you have quite a bit of room to play, you know, around from 250 to 300. Okay, that can be your range, and your supply can come in any of this levels, you know, 263, 275, 85, all going all the way to but from here to, you know, I tried to play it a few times. I did some short plays on this one, few points here and there, and now since earnings coming up, assumption that they may try to run up a little bit towards the earnings, so running up towards 250 can happen. So so mostly what we have been doing is taking some spreads for earnings play, like some call calendars or butterflies or spreads, so that the theta is a little bit capped when index is trying to settle. So those things we have been trying to do, and if calendars and all, if they are a little bit cheaper, then than actual calls. So NVIDIA, or rather the full semis, got hit. First, AMD got hit actually by the down. They all went to the supply, and I think the semi was the sector which got hit badly, at least, right? So NVIDIA, again, see this most, along with indexes, the value stocks and your growth stocks, most of them would exhibit this mountain, or rather the peak of the mountain, right? So this is where you're officially entering into the supply zone, where the price had fallen from the all-time high. So this will be the story with all the stocks mostly, which were exhibiting a structure like this, that you're entering the supply. Now the question would be, you're entering a magnetic field. Your first reaction will be to get rejected, and that's what we are getting. First action is to get rejected. You're getting rejected here. Now this will come down, rest on the support, probably try again. If the trajectory is again towards upside, the price may try to absorb this supply and then go from there. It's all about this peak of the mountain now for most of your stocks. AMD hasn't even gone there near. It's just puked from right here. 125 has been a struggle area for it, and it's back towards 100. So this area is important to hold, this 100. Okay, this 100, because below 100 it really gets weak. So it better hold this 106 onwards, right? 106, 103, and then try to go back. Yeah, see, so this, oops, what happened? So this is your clear demarcation. So the price is not behaving unnaturally. I've seen many people talking, it's such a whacking price raising, I don't know how to time the market, algos are going crazy. No, just look at where you are, where you're coming from, where you're going. So look at the momentum, look at how it's going, where it was hitting, where it fell down from. Then things become a little bit more easier. I mean, that doesn't translate into good trading, but good analysis is a good start, right? So so the question was, since AMD has fallen down a lot, continuous 3 days of falling, will it find some support here and then try to retest back? There's a gap here as well. Will it do that? Will it fill it? If the market is overall good and the semis are also doing good, it's a good chance that this will also pick up and go and fill that gap up. SOXL also came down to this 35 area, this support, and it's holding for now with this gap. Actually, this gap is almost filled, or albeit 20 cents or 25 cents left. I don't know if it will mean anything, but still small gap. So go back to this area, 39.40 back again, or higher till 42, and came back. I think we played this from 38 to 43, and then we exited. NVIDIA also exited. NVIDIA, yeah. I did mention, we did talk about it, but I think one thing I forgot to mention is 289 was its price cycle, and it hit 289 and then cracked from there. And this doji itself said, it wants to pull back. Next day, the moment it took out the low, you could go short. Or these days I'm just doing some stuff and taking stuff off my chart, off my screen, and I'm kind of forgetting that, oh, NVIDIA reached 289, I should short. I saw it's reached to 289, but I forgot to short. Maybe I need to eat a little bit more almonds. So yeah, so that is there. What else? Microsoft again, this area has been a problem for it. 306, 312, 325. This, again, this is a clear demarcation. This is mirroring this. So this needs to flip up. Okay. Once it flips to that side, it has a good chance to absorb this supply and convert to demand. Again, this is, and then this would be your 1, and this would be your danger zone. Oops. So this would be your danger. Below this, the weakness is there. And I think this orange line is coming from, where is it coming? Oh, so yeah, so it's there. It went up. So NVIDIA 306 to 312 has been a strong supply area from before. A lot of rejection in this zone. It tries to go to 325, but not finding, good enough support and good enough demand above this. So again, see this peak of the mountain. So most of your stocks are having this peak of the mountain, and we are officially in the supply zone. So that's why we will see all this wackiness coming in. Google also, this was the range, and this becomes a strong supply area. It tried to go there, but again, like others, got whacked down. Will it find support in early 2700s, and or rather go back above this again and try to go over it again. Earnings season is coming in, so in the next 2 weeks, I think. So probably they can rise into earnings. CPI is also there in the mid of April, I guess. So things may hold until then, and then we can see how CPI is coming in and where price is trading at the time. We will know whether around OPEX or post OPEX we can get a flush or not, or if CPI is doing a good job of keeping the market up, or at least letting it go to retest the high more to the upside. Then are the companies guiding lower, or the earnings not coming in that well? Will push down the market. The other side of it is the earnings and everything are coming down good. Companies are guiding better. The inflation is, at least in their guidance, shows not that much of an effect. Then we may, will it test all the way towards the high or try to make a new high? That will be a question which we will see when it arrives. One more thing, Netflix is the first one to report, right? So see this, it came here as we had talked, stopped here, and now it's trying to go back above here. This, right? So it needs to take this area out 400. So above 400, below 400 will be the question for Netflix. Now it's very important for it now with this earnings to be over this 400 in order to retest this fall. This is a vicious fall down to at least this supply, if not more than this supply, towards, I think there's a gap also here, right around 500 or just under 500 or 500. That area, if it can fill that gap, then it will be nice. So, but at least minimum here, testing this would be nice to, curb this damage. But assume it doesn't go over this, then the price towards 250 or under 300 is almost there. So this is one stock which it needs to perform very soon. I mean, no way of saying that this cannot continue like this sideways for, like this, or exactly like this. It can do that. It can do that until further time it decides to go up or go down. So this chop wick can happen, but one of the things, considering how the markets are, considering the world events are, we may get a reaction or to, if it doesn't do well, then, losing 300 will not be a surprise, in my opinion. So I think that's there. We talked about few good stocks also. One of the things which I keep, oops, I always type this wrong, which I keep seeing is about this AFRM. Oh my God, AFRM doubled, AFRM doubled. But if you go and look at my thread on AFRM, I said 25 is the demand zone, and it came all the way till 25, and from there it doubled, right? So this, see, the next stop was 50, right? So some people were asking that, should we short it? It's moved up 20, around 35 or so. They were asking to short. I said, no, don't short until 45, and 49 is the price cycle. So wait for it to come here, and then you can see what it wants to do. So again, it's a decision point. On a monthly, or rather on a weekly, this doesn't look a big move because it's coming down from 176, 177 to all the way to 26. So this move looks very small, but in terms of percentage, it's very high. And in terms of, the daily chart movement, the movement is quite nice, quite move. It's a double, right, on this thing. So again, see, it's just resting here, and then, it may pull back a little bit, consolidate a little bit, and then, there'll be interest whether it goes here. Now, if it comes in this area, this is all where the price had spent some time. So again, going here, it has to start capturing all the supply which is there here. So, be aware of this. And then again, your price becomes, so see, the moment it entered here, tried to the below area, it got your first reaction when you enter anything, either from the downside or from the upside, the first reaction can be a rejection, okay, from both sides. And then you decide, once inside the box, you can spend some time inside the box because there's a lot of time spent here. So absorbing all this, it's like meeting a lot of relatives. So it takes time to meet all of them and say hellos and everything. And then, above this box, below this box, it becomes that simple to see once things are like that. Okay. I think I'll stop here. Otherwise, it gets too long to watch. So let me know what you guys think. Post some comments and please like. It takes a lot of time to analyze all these things. It may sound very simple when I talk or when you read about it, but on the background, a lot of calculation, time spending happens. So a little bit of, putting a like, retweeting it, or liking my YouTube and subscribing to it does help, gives me the motivation to do more. So appreciate it. Thank you.